Well, so the doors are done. I put the ones up on the other side of the back end, and they overlapped each other by about a quarter, maybe 3/8 of an inch, maybe less. Got cut off. I set the table saw up so that it was a little bit narrower, and I cut off about that much on each one, and that gives me about 3/4 of an inch reveal in between the two. And since both openings were the same, I just figured I'd do that before I started anything. I'm going to have that on the inside, on the center. This way we have enough area to install the hinges. Okay. So we're going to be installing Euro-style hinges, the ones that are so famous. It's supposed to be a metric bit, but I don't have any metric bits. So, which side is that? It's supposed to be a metric bit. It's supposed to be a metric bit, but I don't have any metric bits. But I found that a 1 1/4 inch bit will work. It fits pretty good. So what I do is I mark up off the edge 3/4 of an inch. And I draw a line. With the straight edge that I had handy. I'll go all the way across. But I do cover a large area on either side. Then I come down and I cross that line at 3 inches. Boy, I wish I had overhead so you can see what I'm doing. So now I've got a mark 3/4 of an inch in and 3 inches down. Now this particular bit is pretty cool because I use this as a gauge to the depth that I need to go. I just go down to the top of that bit and this full part, and it's equal to the depth that these go down into. They even come with screws. We're only going to use 2 screws this part, and we're going to take them apart before we get too far gone. Take the screws all the way out normally because it's easier to work with that way. And these are the guys that we're going to be working on. So now we go ahead and we drill our hole. Hit that. There we go. Okay. Now we got a couple of really nice little holes. And we place them in. Now the way that this lines up, this part right here is actually the center line. So when you put them in there, you line that up as the center line, and you got a straight hinge. I use a self-centering bit. One of these real good ones that's got a kind of sweet talk into coming back every once in a while. Use a self-centering bit, set it there where I want it. And put a couple screws on it. Fight with the screws first. No, that's fight with them. And that's the hard part. Actually, the hard part being able to do it straight, since the old man can't see straight from nothing. You know, it's funny. Until I started talking and doing this Me Too video, those dogs were quiet as church mouse. Just amazing me. When you're running the screws like this, you want to keep your clutch light. This way you're not stripping them out. So let's go ahead and set up over here, and I'll show you what we do in the cabinet.
Well, hey, how you doing? How you like living in a cabinet? Well, okay, you're just visiting. But anyway, we'll just go ahead and talk about this. So I got a 3-inch, I'm going to have it about 1 inch on top of this cabinet where the door is going to rest upon. So that means that I'm going to come down 2 inches, and that'll be the center of my hinge of this part. So I'll put that in there like that. Make a mark. kind of run that mark in there. And I'm going to offset back 1/4 inch, which is already set on here. And what I'm going to do when I do this, and I'm going to make it up here a little bit. Because it's gonna the whole assembly is gonna come around there. I'm gonna do the same thing to the bottom. Once again, I use my self-centered bit. And what we're gonna do is gonna kind of ballpark it. Hi, mosquito. These two, you see, have adjustments to go up and down. So what we'll do is we'll kind of center this and locate it where we want it. Oh, about like that. What do you think? Right about there. We'll take our self-centered bit, double check it to make sure, because it always moves when I go for something. We drill a hole in the center. So this way there's some adjustment, either up or down. And then we drop this. You know, gotta have the dropsies. Now, we'll take and just run those screws in, but not tight, because I want this bracket to be able to move freely for now. And of course I'm going to say that and it's not going to tighten up. Okay, I got some movement here. Give it a little more. There we go. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the bottom. So now we've got our inside brackets located. Take our hinge, and we put it in such a way, I don't know if you can see this, but there's a little slot in that screw in the back, which is for the adjustment. So we slide that in so that we have the adjustment there, and we do the same thing with the bottom one. And we're all nice and located. Bring it back a little bit. And then we've got our hinge connected and located to where it needs to go. So we'll go ahead and we'll anchor these guys. Just like that. So we'll make sure it doesn't fall out. We'll go ahead and knock them down. This adjustment screw here and this adjustment screw, moving them in and out, back and forth, will enable you to get them to lay kind of flat unless they're really out of whack. And gets them to hang straight. But that's all there is to it. Now, how I do it, just to do it to the other one, we'll have a set of hinges, a set of doors up. You'll see. Well, there you go. We have cabinet doors. Isn't that like the cat's meow? What I'm going to do, I'm going to set the router up with a revving bit. We'll put a little ribbon on the inside over here, so this way I got handles. I'm not going to do that with the back door. I'm going to do something a little different so I can make kind of a little makeshift lock to keep it from popping open. What I'm going to do now, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sand these down, make them look kind of pretty. And I'm going to paint the inside here white, like I did on the side, on both sets of doors. I'm going to hopefully get this thing off. And I'm going to paint the underside also. And I'll show you that next time around, which would probably be, I don't know, part 5 maybe. So I'll see you then.